Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another live stream. This is our second live stream of the day. We did one very early this morning, but I thought I was going to stay on a little bit later and work through. It's like 20 past 8, and a couple of hours ago I had this delivered because my trusty old mug press, which is over there in the corner, basically decided the heating element's gone on it. So I was going to go and buy a new mug press, and then I saw this, did a bit of research, and thought, you know what, I'm going to give this a go instead. So what I've gone and done is I bought a PYD Life Sublimation oven. Now this is the big one. This is the 25 litre, I think, sublimation oven. What I'm going to do is I'm going to unbox it all up, or unbox it out live, and we're going to get the whole thing set up somewhere. We're going to find somewhere for it to go. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit in there. I was kind of hoping it was going to fit in there, but it won't, basically. So I'm not sure where it's going to go. I'm hoping it's going to go on there, but I'm not sure what the depth is going to be like. But anyway, should be a bit of fun. Should run for a few hours because I've never used one of these ever before. I've always used, mug presses, and we've got a flat press as well, but we don't use that very often. But yeah, I've seen you can do some super cool stuff with this, right? So I'm hoping that is going to allow us to expand our product range a bit. Anyway, if you do join in, ask questions, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. So let me just post a comment in the chat for you guys. There we go. If you want to ask me any questions, any dropshipping questions, you can as well. That's for you guys if you're watching this back. Obviously, you can just put comments down below. Never done an unboxing video before. To be honest, we've only just started going live. Just started last week, but kind of addicted to it now, So, anyway, right, cool. Right, let's crack on with it. So, what are we doing then? Well, the first thing we need to do is maybe tip this upside down, I think. Hopefully, hasn't got any loose parts in it. Yeah. There we go. Gently does it. I'll post this video up on YouTube afterwards as well. I'll post the whole thing unedited. I can't be bothered editing the video. It takes too long. Well, hello. Hello. I'll get rid of the box a moment. My cats will be in that box in a moment. They love it. Right, so let's have a look at this thing then. Well, there's a little hole in the box. But hopefully the machine's all right, So as you can see, you can do mugs, primarily what we're going to use it for, mugs, mostly. But we might experiment with this sort of stuff, all the different types of tumblers, And you can do other stuff as well. Phone cases, I've seen it do. You can do baubles in it, which is great for us actually, because we do sell baubles. around Christmas time, so we could try and do some bottles in it as well, I think. Right, anyway, let's get it open, otherwise this video is going to be about 20 hours long. Is that original tape, or I don't know, there's no tape extending over the edge there, it's just one piece of tape that long. The tape doesn't come over the edge, so then there's no signs. Yeah, that looks like it's been retaped to me, if you ask me. Well, they haven't sent me a fucking used one. Let's have a look then. Oh, it looks pretty tidy in there. So you got the manual. I have done a little bit of research on YouTube. So it does give you. If you've watched any other videos, it gives you these, which is the temperatures and temp and time for the various types of things that you do. So we mainly do mugs, just plain mugs. And we do enamel mugs as well, but not the 12 ounce. But yeah, so it can do, well, mugs it can do 6 at a time. And what's it saying then? It's saying that's in Fahrenheit. So I suppose the machine works in Fahrenheit, I guess, basically, but with Celsius, obviously. Yeah. But yeah, 355 Fahrenheit, 15 minutes. Now, that's going to sound long, right? If you ever used a mug press before, so we can press. Can't remember now. 150 seconds. Yeah, we can press a mug in 150 seconds on there in a mug press. So we don't know. We're gonna have to see whether it's actually going to be more time consuming. Well, it is going to be more time consuming because it's going to take. Well, if you're doing one mug, it takes 12 minutes. But you know, we're not going to do one mug very often. In fact, I've got 4 mugs, but they're ready to go, right? So, which I'm gonna hopefully do today in this video. I hope it works. Otherwise, I'm gonna need to go and buy a mug press. Right, we've got a tool. No, don't tell me it comes with gloves. I went and bought gloves. That's what you get when you. You order something in a hurry, right? In haste. I was looking for a mug press, and then saw this shiny new thing syndrome. Oh, so we got some mug tape. We have that. We have already got plenty of rolls of mug tape anyway. But hey ho, we'll have the extras free. So, what we got in here then? So it comes with heat gloves, even though we've already bought our own. This is it's a clamp, is it? For clamping something. I told you, cats are in that bloody box already. And it comes with these sheets as well. Now this doesn't look like many sheets. Basically, the way it works is we're going to have to order some of these straight away, I think. So the way it works is that you basically put your, because if you think how a press works, a heat press, whether it's a mug press or a clamp press, that works on both heat and pressure, right? So if you're putting a mug into an oven, you know, if we take a mug, for example, which is here, we take a mug. Basically, you see you've got the design printed out on the mug paper, and obviously already attached to the mug. You just about see the design there on that side. But yeah, when that goes in a mug press, that puts lots of pressure on that, and the heat is essentially what transfers the image to the mug. Obviously, these are sublimation mugs, so they're coated with a special coating, right? But obviously, if you use a sublimation oven, there's no pressure. Now, from what I understand, this is why they give you these bags, right? Well, these are basically, that one's a different, that's like a smaller one. But they give you, we've got a couple of smaller ones. I suppose they're, but they're not probably, mug's probably not going to fit. Now, probably use the bigger ones for the mugs. So basically, they've got holes on both sides. See? Holes on both sides. And the idea is the mug, or whatever you're using it for, goes inside. Yeah, so you put it inside. So yeah, there's a bit of wastage, I would say. Maybe you could get away with cutting that in two. To be honest, I'll probably try that, I think. But these are pretty cheap. I think you can get 100 sheets for like, I think they're about 10 pence each, right? The sheets. So not the cheapest, but you know, maybe you can buy them in bigger bulk and probably get them for 5 pence each, something like that. Right, so I'll try cutting them in half anyway. You know, just I like to not do things the normal way. What's this then? That's a step by step. I don't think we'll probably need it, but right, these gloves look fantastic. I like these, branded as well. That clamp, I guess, is for getting stuff out of the oven. We could just use an oven glove for that. I suppose that's the whole point of having heat gloves. Right, let's try and get ourselves a bit sorted here. So this thing is not as big as I perhaps thought it was. So let's have a look. Yeah. So I feel like this is an open box, but that wasn't really wrapped over the top of it, right? But all of the tape, which tapes everything in place, is there, and the hole that was in the side of the box is just the plug. It's the prong from the plug. So let me take some of this rubbish on. So, let's have a look. I'm going to get this out. It's not particularly heavy. It weighs about 8 kilograms, which is not really heavy at all. Just make sure everything's all right on it. Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks new. I don't think there's any concern with it, whether it's new or not. But how many pair of gloves do they give you? They give you a flipping oven glove as well. And trays. So there, I'm assuming there's your tray. That gives you an idea of how much space you have on the tray. If I was to measure, I'll measure that here in inches. I've got a measuring mat in front of me. So the tray is 13 inches. It's 13 inches square, this tray. So that'll give you an idea of the surface area and how much stuff you can fit on this. I think it's just one tray. It's not multi-level or anything like that. We'll put this to one side. Like so. And let's get an empty box. Let's put this out. So like I said, it weighs about 8 kilos. This is the box. I bought this on Amazon. It cost, what did it cost? I think it was 300. So it's 300 Great British pounds. Obviously, we're based in the UK. But Amazon were actually running a discount on it. They were running a £60 off offer, just a random offer. Just apply the voucher there, and then offer may still even be on, to be honest. So we paid £240 Great British for this. Which, if it can do what it says it can do, should be a good price. Right, so spin that around so you can have a look. That's what it looks like, guys. We'll get it out now with this polystyrene. So it's got a fixed molded plug, which I would have expected. So let's try and wiggle this out. I might have to turn it upside down. Yeah. Get that off. These polystyrene pieces are on quite tight. Alright, cool. So let's get this back up the right way. It's a nice looking machine, in fairness. It is very nice. So I'll bring it maybe closer to the camera so you can have a look there. There you go. It's probably a good look at it. It's a lovely looking machine. It's not as big as the box makes out. I still don't think it's going to fit in there though. Originally the idea was to put it in there, but it's too tall from what I read. I don't know where the feet come off. Well, the feet might come off. That might be an idea. So I need 36. I haven't got 36, I don't think. I've got 33, so I might have to go here. I wonder if, can you take the feet off and is that advisable? So I'm pretty sure the feet would come off. So that's only going to save me about an inch, so 2.5 centimeters, I'd say. So I guess, I don't know if that gets hot though. Maybe I could put a mat underneath it, a heat mat or something. Because then I would only need 34 centimeters, which I don't even think I've got. It's got a ventilation thing on the top as well. I don't think that's a good idea. It's got heat ventilation on the top, I think. So I don't think putting it in enclosed space like that is a good idea anyway. So we'll not do that, and we'll probably put it there or something like that. Right, anyway, let's get cracking. Let's get some snips. Get that cut. So the plug is not very long. I'll tell you that. That's not very long at all, and that's going to cause me a problem straight away. I'm just going to measure that. So you've got approximately 39 inches. 39? Yeah, not even that. Yeah, 30. Yeah, the plug is 1 meter long. So, and I think my power sockets are down here. So that's, yeah. I'll have to find an adapter to make that longer. Right. Let's get this cut. There we go. Well, I'm sure there's loads of tape on it. It's definitely a very blue colour. Very baby blue colour, that is. So, right. Let's see. Right, so bits of cardboard. Take out the separator before use. Well, this bottom tray comes out. Suppose that goes down more. Yeah. So that tray would come out. I'm not entirely sure what it means by the separator. Because I have to try and figure that out. Right, anyway, carrying on. So, how does that fit in then? Like that, is it? No, like that. Got my toast in there. Oven glove. I don't even know whether I need it. I've got 3 pairs of gloves now. Not all rubbish up. Right, we'll chuck all that rubbish up there. Just going to have a quick look at what it means by the separator. Because I can see a bottom tray. I'm not really sure what it means by a separator though. So, it doesn't really say anything. Okay, so this thing, which I showed earlier on, looks like a clamp, is used with shrink film to get a larger print range for mugs with handles. Okay, right, yeah, so essentially, from what I understand, right, so you basically, because it comes like that, they're both this way and they make a bit of a click. So that's how it comes. And then you need to snap these this way. Feels like you're breaking it, but you're not. And then you can use it as a clamp then, right? So the idea is as you put your... I've got a different type of mug here, it's my coffee mug. The idea is that you would put that around, to clamp like that. So as you put your shrink wrap around the mug, and then you would use that on. So if, for example, if you wanted to, which is anyone, if you do mugs, you know this, on a normal mug press, you've obviously got that, you've got that gap, haven't you, at the top, right? So when you put the gap which the handle sticks up through, well, on a lot of mug presses, on the actual the heating element itself, you can't get close with your print. You can't get really close to the handle. Yeah, because the press, the clamp, usually stops around about here. Depends on what style you've got, but mine sort of stops around here. And as you print near the edge, you tend to get fading because the heating element doesn't heat up as well close to the edge as it does right around the center. So that's often quite a problem. And what you usually do is you would usually pull back your design somewhat so that you're not going right to the edge of your heating element to avoid that that fading, right? But I guess with this, what I'm saying is that because it's going in an oven, you're going to have all around even heating, right? So the only thing that you need to make important really is pressure. So the idea of this clamp is just so you can put enough pressure on the shrink wrap film. That's my understanding of it anyway. So yeah, that little tool will probably come in handy for something. So yeah, so the first bit of advice I can give anyone is don't worry about buying a heat glove because it comes with one. You might want to go and buy yourself some more sheets because it doesn't come with many. So you might want to buy yourself a pack of sheets if you're ordering one of these. There's lots of different options and they don't have to buy, I think the branded sheets, which in all honesty, if you're running a business, you're probably not going to buy the branded shrink wrap sheets. I'm sure, the unbranded ones are just as good. We'll definitely find out eventually. Right, so the back and bottom of the oven gets hot. So the taking the feet off is not advised. Right, okay, cool. Right, let's try and figure out where it's going to go then. So this separator thing, I don't know. I don't know where the separator is. All I see is a bottom tray. Maybe I'm just being an idiot. Who knows? Unless it means piece of cardboard. Right. Overall, it's a funky looking machine. So let's try and figure out where it's going to go. Where is it going to go? That's got a full rearrange around here. What we'll do is we'll get all this. Let me see it down. Right, what we'll do. What do you mean? Just temporarily put that to one side so I can probably give this a little clean. Dusty? Oh, it's not that bad. It's not that bad under there actually. It's not that bad. Right, so plug situation. Plug is all the way down there, that cable's not going to reach, so I'm going to need to sort out a plug. First things first, I think. Yeah. So, first thing I want to check is depth. Does it even fit on there? So, did it say the back gets hot? I think it did. Yeah, don't touch the back on the bottom. It gets hot. All right then. Let's check what that is a moment. That's all right. Getting a bit hot now. Took the AC on. So obviously UK plug. So yeah, so in my view that that fits there fine. I would say, because we have a sublimation printer here, SG400, trusty sublimation printer. Touch wood. It's been going well for quite a while. Yeah, so I'm going to need to sort some power out. So I've got power here. But I can't reach that. I can probably come off that. I just need a little extension, so I'll probably end up buying what I need, but I'm just going to have to. I'm basically just going to go and find something now, I think. Tidy that up. What do you mean? Right. Hopefully that AC kicks in because it's getting a bit hot, you know. Right. Give me a second. I'm just going to go find a plug. I'll be back. Right, that wasn't too difficult. Managed to find one. Surge protector as well, which is great. Right, so I think power cable for the motor. this over here. That's fine. Yeah. Very fancy. I like it. And then let's just move this out of the way. It's just a Slack notification. I can do that later. So this is really a bit longer than what I needed, but all I've got right now. So we'll have to do. The power cable on that is super short. So that will affect that opening. So that's a bit of a pain. I suppose it could be unplugged. Maybe bring this over. Bring this over. And maybe that can live down the side of it instead. Can't go full length. We've got power. So we've got power. Right, so we can pull maybe that over a bit. I like this to be quite tidy. Over like this. And then how much room have I got? I've got a bit of space at the back there. So the airflow, fine. Okay, cool. So it's come on. It's Celsius already, so it's registered in UK. Obviously, the instruction manuals are for mugs. It's saying backstand away from it. 355 Fahrenheit. So I don't know what 355 Fahrenheit is. To Celsius. It's 180. So that is. So when you first turn it on, it's 180. So, which is the temperature that you pretty much do. Well, to be honest, everything in this book is 180 degrees Celsius. All the tumblers, all the mugs, even the glass tumblers, they're all done on 180 degrees, which is the mug press. The press mugs are 190 degrees. So that's just what used to work best for that mug press. There you go. The cat's going on. Right, so yeah, so we can just leave it on 180 degrees then. What's the time on? 9 minutes? I think we want to eat. No, we won't. So we're going to do. So I'm gonna start this off with one mug, right? Because I don't want to. I don't really want to mess these up unnecessarily. You know, if for example we don't get the right heat or something, or we don't do the shrink wrap properly. Obviously, I've never done the shrink wrap, so I'm just going to take any one of these mugs, really, whichever one. It honestly doesn't matter. I suppose this one has the most detail on it. So we'll try that one. So I'm going to try one mug. It says 12 minutes for one mug. So just going to set the time to 12 minutes. I'm assuming you would start with the tray out. So obviously you need to get this thing to heat up, right? So we're on the right temperature, 108 degrees. We're on 12 minutes. You can change from Celsius to Fahrenheit if you want. You can change the temperature. You've got heat temperature, and upper. Oh shit! Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. So you've got upper and lower temperatures. That's why you've got 180 degrees on the display twice. So I'm assuming that is because you can put that in at the middle height, and you can lay stuff down. So, for example, if I want to lay that mug down, that doesn't fit. That would scratch on the top. So I'm going to want to use the bottom tray, and I think I was just going to maybe stand the mug up. I have seen people lay down things like tumblers. I don't think it matters. Right, so obviously that's going to get hot, right? So if that's going to be hot, we've got it's not heated up yet. Let me just move this paper out of the way. So we've got this here, this cutter, this paper trimmer is metal. So when this comes out of the oven, we can put that straight onto there, which is where we normally put the mugs anyway, because obviously we can let them cool down on here. And being a metal surface, we're not going to have to worry about that, burning our cutting mats or anything like that. So first thing we're going to do is get the machine heating up, I think. So you need to press this for 3 seconds to switch on. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Was that off? Yeah, that's off. So that's how you control the temperatures. So, okay, yeah. So this middle dial controls the bottom temperature, which I'm assuming is the one we're going to be using. But I think we're just going to keep both on 180 degrees anyway. So we just want to get this heating up now. It's definitely not heating up right now. Right, so yeah, so we've got just press the play button. We've got the heating icon now. 2 heating icons flashing above each of the temperatures. So that's heating up the temperature now. I'm assuming the machine will tell us when it's up to temperature. Now, I did watch some YouTube videos. Beforehand, before I actually bought it. And from what I understand, is as soon as that machine reaches temperature, it starts going, right? It starts, as soon as it gets up to temperature, it automatically starts the countdown straight away, right? It's not. It doesn't wait for you to press go or anything like that. So yeah, starts the countdown after 5 seconds. So I think with this AC, it gets bloody freezing. So machine will beep to inform you as it reaches the set temperature and start countdown after 5 seconds. So on the lower section, which is the middle dial, if you press that for 3 seconds, it will actually show you the current. It will show you the current temperature. Yeah, okay, cool. So the next thing we need to do really is we just need to shrink wrap one of these mugs. And you're going to need a heat gun. So we need to wrap it says tumbler, but we're obviously wrapping mugs. Yeah, wrap the heat gun. So wrap it, shrink it. Chap's not using gloves with a heat gun. I don't know whether that's advised. Press heat and put this under in the oven. As it beeps, close the door immediately. Countdown starts 5 seconds. Okay. Cool. Right. It sounds simple enough. I mean, I've been pressing mugs for 18 years, so I'm pretty sure I can figure out a sublimation oven, right? So, first thing I need to do is find my heat gun, which is, where is that gone? Up me. Up. Trusty little heat gun. Right, so which gloves do I prefer? Right, so we've got a heat gun. How you doing? So the machine is beeping, and the machine has started counting down now. So the machine that's what it says it does. It counts down immediately. So it's got up to temperature, and it's just started counting down from 12 minutes now straight away. Thanks for joining, by the way. But obviously we haven't shrunk wrapped any mugs yet, so we're not ready to go. So I guess we can pause it. It has got a pause button on it. So it's certainly got that new smell, and I can see a bit of. I've got that new smell, If I open the door, you can see all the sort of steam and stuff. Not steam, but it's, you know what it is. It continues to count down if you open the door. I think you can pause it. Yeah, so that turns the machine off. So we'll leave it off for a moment. And we're just going to basically shrink wrap this. So what I'm going to do is I like to move things around here, so I need to work over here really. So I've got plugs there, so I could use those plugs, but for now I'll just use this over here. I'm not sure if you can hear me over there. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me over there. I don't know why you do this on high or low, but we'll find out. Good, thanks. Yeah, very good. Yeah, you. Where are you watching from? So what we're going to do is going to grab one of these bags, which are through. You can see through them, or there's a hole in both sides. And the idea is, now see, you have to buy these bags from Ghana. You have to buy these bags. You can buy the original ones, but they're a bit more expensive. I'm not going to buy the original ones. I'm going to buy the unbranded ones. I'm assuming these are the original ones because obviously these are the ones that come with the machine. But tomorrow I'm going to order the unbranded heat bags from Amazon tomorrow. Now, the mug I'm pressing, the design only goes from here to here, right? So my thinking here is that I don't need to use a whole one of these, right? I can cut this in half, right? Because that is going to easily shrink around that. I mean, I don't think I've seen anyone cut these in half. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can. So I'm going to cut it in half. I don't like wastage. So these are 30 centimeters. So I'm just going to cut it at 15 centimeters exact. Well, I say exact. It's probably quicker just to cut it by eye. So there we go. I've cut it in half like so. So now we've got the job. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the mug in that like so. And this is what creates the pressure. So on a conventional heat press, you'll know that it's heat and pressure that transfers the design, right? But we are using an oven, which has got no pressure. So the reason why you have to shrink wrap is the shrink wrap creates the pressure. Yeah? The shrink wrap creates the pressure. Now, there is a crease. You can see it there. There's a crease in these bags. Now, I don't like that because I don't really want the crease over the design. I don't know whether it affects the pressure or not. I'm assuming it doesn't, because if it did, well, that wouldn't work out too well. So what we'll do, by the way, guys, this is the very first time I've ever used a sublimation oven. I've been pressing mugs for almost 18 years now with a conventional mug press. So I've made tens of thousands of mugs, but this is the first time using an oven, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a glove on because I don't want to burn my hands. Now I bought my own gloves, but it comes with an oven glove. This comes with it, and it comes with these PYD heat. Well, I thought that was a pair. It comes with one PYD heat glove. I bought a pair of gloves because I didn't think it came with any. So as long as you've got coverage, you can clamp it tight with your finger either side. And then I'm just gonna start off on a low heat and slowly, and it shrink wraps very, very quickly. I'm on a low heat at the moment, guys. But the idea is you just want to make sure that I'm sure you can overdo this. You just want to make sure you got the whole design. The whole design is tight. Obviously, this is my first one, so I'm a bit, it's probably heat pressing itself. So let's have a look at what's going on here. So we've ended up with this, right? There's a few little bubbles in it, but I'm hoping that doesn't matter. What I was more concerned about, it's not hot, we can touch that. What I was more concerned about is this section here on the back, basically, and this is probably where maybe the clamp would come in if you were going, because as you can, I'm not sure if you can really see that, but it only really goes flat to about here. Now, I can't really tell where my design ends because you can't really see it. But I don't know whether I would need that clamping, because the problem we've got is that it's very, 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 very tight there. So that can't press anymore. So unless you use that clamp thing, which is this that comes from, this is the idea. I think that clamp is meant to go on the back of that, and then you clamp that down tightly, and then I can't do that now. So one way or another, we're going to figure out whether this is all right or not. I mean, it's pretty much pressed down to there. I don't know. We're going to give it a go, right? So, first thing we want to do, I want to heat the machine back up. Right, so that's one thing I've just learned there. If the machine is on, if the machine is heating up, you can't actually turn the time up. You have to turn the machine off in order to turn the time. So I'm going to put it back to 12 minutes. So you can do a single mug in 12 minutes. That's basically what the manual says. But you can do up to 6 mugs at a time. And if you're doing 6 mugs, I think the manual recommends 15 minutes at 180 degrees or 355 Fahrenheit. Yeah, it recommends 15 minutes for these 11-ounce mugs. These are the standard 11-ounce mugs you get everywhere. So I'll wait for that to heat up. Now, what I want to do is put this in. Because as this is heating up, it literally, as soon as it gets the temperature, it counts down immediately. Actually, no, I don't want to put that in. That's a bad idea. Because while it's heating up, it's going to be sublimating, right? So basically, once it gets up to temperature, you have pretty much 5 seconds to put it in the machine. Otherwise, it starts counting down. Now, I don't know why it does that. I don't know why it just doesn't, press play to go. It sounds a bit daft to me, that, but because it kind of means you have to, with a mug press, you would just put this on. This would just go up to temperature. You can leave it on, and it doesn't start counting down until you close it. So you could just leave it on all day if you wanted to. This thing starts counting down as soon as it gets the temperature. Well, 5 seconds after it does. Now, which means if you're not quick in putting what you're sublimating into the machine, then you could lose a couple of seconds, and I don't know how vital that's going to be to the final result. I mean, in a way, it might be worthwhile setting the timer. If the manual says to do 12 minutes for a single mug, it might be worth setting the timer to 13 minutes just to give you that extra minute of playroom, basically, because once it heats up to temperature, after 5 seconds, it automatically, so within 5 seconds, it's going to start counting down. So you need to, it's up to temperature now, so you need to get this in the machine pretty quick. It's already counting down. So I basically lost 11, I lost 11 seconds worth of pressing time there. It was already on 11:49 by the time I put it in. Now, I don't know whether that's going to affect it. I would hope not, but we'll see. We'll soon see. I mean, 11 seconds shouldn't really matter, right? So, but in my view, it's a little bit daft. I think what you might be better off doing, like, because I'm trying to figure out like how this is actually going to fit into, you know, as we're actually putting out mugs, okay? Because, you know, we put out a reasonable amount of mugs, right, every day. So I'm trying to think, you know, I'm thinking, right, I can do 6 at a time. So how many can I put out? Now, I haven't always got a batch of 6 to do. Might have less sometimes. I basically got 4 here to do right now this evening. Basically, these is like a test. But these are actually for real orders, so I'm hoping it doesn't mess this one up. But yeah, so what I was thinking is in a way, I might just set the timer to like, just set the timer to like 30 minutes or something like that. And then once it gets up to temperature, just let it count down. And then whenever you decide to put in your mug, actually use a separate counter to do your 12 minutes. I think that, and then take it out after 12 minutes. I think that might be better because of the way it starts. I don't like the way the machine starts. If you just joined the chat, by the way, I'll just remind you, the way the machine works is that once it gets up to temperature and you hear that bleep, after 5 seconds, it starts counting down. It hasn't got a start counting down button. You don't just press go and then it just counts down whatever time that you've set on the machine. It doesn't work like that. How it works is it gets up to temperature and then it decides that it wants to go. Now, the problem is wouldn't it be great if you could just chuck all 6 mugs in the machine, tell it to heat up the temperature, and then it would just count down and go. The problem is, in my view anyway, is as the machine is heating up, it will begin to sublimate the mugs, and then at not full temperature, so you're going to get slight sublimation as it's heating up, and then once it gets to temperature, it's going to be at maximum temperature for, say, 12 minutes or 15 minutes if you're doing a batch of 6, right? So in my mind, you're going to end up with over sublimation. And if you've ever sublimated anything, when you over sublimate something, it basically goes, you know, your blacks go brown, ruins the colors, right? So we've got another 8 minutes on this machine now. Once it counts down, I suppose the good thing about it is it does turn off, but, you know, again, you're going to want to take it out of the machine because the machine is not going to go cold immediately, right? And it's going to continue sublimating, right? Just like when you take a mug out of a mug press and it's basically steaming hot, it is still sublimating until you take that paper off, right? So this is why you are supposed to take that paper off ASAP. Now, one thing I don't know anything about yet, is how easy it is to get that shrink wrap off, right? Because that's wrapped in there pretty tight. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how quickly I can get that off and what I need to get that off. Now, I'm assuming, well, I know for a fact that mug's going to be super hot. And it's going to be quite fiddly to try and get the shrink wrap off. So probably going to want a glove on this hand. I think these are double-sided gloves, you know. Yeah. Probably just use one glove. Yeah, so basically I'm right-handed. So I'm probably going to want to take the mug out, put it on the tray. When I say tray, I put it on here. This is a metal paper trimmer. We put mugs on the heat press on there all the time. Works perfectly. Doesn't burn into it at all. So when I take it out, I'm going to want to either just, if I was doing a batch of 6, I'd pull the tray out, but this time I probably won't pull. If I was doing a batch of 6, I'd pull the tray out, but this time I probably won't pull the tray out. I'll probably just pull the tray forward, pull the mug out, hold the mug with my left hand. You can see me working it all out. Still got 6 minutes to go yet. By the way, guys, this is the first time I've ever used a sublimation oven. I've been pressing mugs normally for almost 18 years now. So I've tons of experience with working with heat presses. Unfortunately, my heat press, trusty old thing, I've had that for years. It decided to die on me yesterday. And I think the heating element's gone. It just won't heat up the temperature. I was going to go and buy another mug press, and I might still do because I've got the room for it. Haven't really got anything needing to go there right now. So I might still go and buy a mug press anyway, because it depends on how I get on with this thing. But basically, I was shopping for a new one, saw this, and then, you've got that shiny object syndrome where you're like, oh, what was that? And then I just tapped that into YouTube, and then I watched like 2 videos, and I was like, shit, this is really good. I need this right now. And to top it off as well, I bought it on Amazon. They had a deal. They had like 60 quid off, like if you ordered today, or yesterday. So we ordered straight away. Came earlier on a couple of hours ago. And so it was a bargain. I think it was like 300 quid, but we had like 60 quid off. So we had 240. I think it was a bargain price. You can do all sorts now. Obviously, you can do the mugs. You can do the 20-ounce tumblers. You can do the 40-ounce tumblers. You can do the 50-ounce coffees. You can do the 64-ounce tumblers. And obviously, you can do the normal mugs, 11-ounce. I'm sure you can do 10-ounce mugs as well. Basically, anything that you can shrink. This is the thing, right? So you can essentially, this is a sublimation oven, right? So it in my view, it's just an oven, right? You could probably do this in, I don't know, maybe you could do this in a fan oven. I don't know, right? I don't know what's so special about this particular oven. Is it just an oven? And it could be the case. I think it might just be an oven, right? It's just a fancy looking one. You could probably just go and use your kitchen oven. What you need to do is buy the shrink wrap sheets and use a heat gun to create that pressure. That's what puts the design super tight to the mug. Now I'm hoping the little bubbles that I had in that shrink wrap don't affect the final thing of it. It's just 3.5 minutes to go. So we're almost there. Doesn't smell too bad. It's just got that new smell. Got a new burny smell. The type of thing the type of smell you get off it. You get a smell like that off a mug press, or really any type of heat press anyway. Yeah, kind of a nice smell, really. I suppose I'm a bit weird. So we're just waiting for this to calm down now. Can't really remember what I was saying. Anyway, guys, if you do like this sort of stuff, you're into like sublimation and stuff, print on demand. Um, we are a dropship supplier. We're based in the UK. We have a catalogue of almost 3,000 products, and we work with dropshippers or resellers, retailers, people who resell our products online on platforms like eBay, Amazon, Etsy, TikTok Shop, Shopify, and we basically give you access to our catalog, and we allow you to resell our products on all of these platforms. And essentially, how it works is it's drop shipping, right? So I'm sure if you're watching this, you may know what drop shipping is. Drop shipping is just an arrangement between you and your supplier, whereby your supplier will agree to ship the order for you directly to your customer. So you physically don't have to make any products. You don't have to do anything. You can leave all of that to us. And we offer print on demand on mugs and wall prints as well. So you can put all of your custom designs on those, and we can ship those directly out to your customer for you. So you can find out details. There is a link in the top of the chat. You can head to our website. You can find out more information about us, what it is that we do, and how we can help you if you are interested in working with us. Any questions, do put in the chat. I'm more than happy to answer those for you. We've just got a minute and a half left now on the BYD. We're just sublimating a single mug. This is the first sublimation attempt. We've just literally unboxed it. We've set it up. We've set the timer. We've brought it up to temperature, and we've basically just put the first mug in. We're going to see what it's like when it comes out in just a minute now. I don't know whether it's when it's basically worked, because I wasn't too sure about the shrink wrap. Because you have to. The way it works is they give you these shrink wrap sheets, which you have to restock, and these are basically open on both sides. So you put the mug inside the shrink wrap, and then you have to use a heat gun and heat around it and shrink the shrink wrap around it. That's what creates the pressure that you would get from the likes of a mug press, for example. But obviously we don't have a mug press in this. We have a mug press there, but obviously we don't have a mug press. No way to create that pressure inside of an oven, right? So we're about 10 seconds away now. I'm just going to get ready to get this out. Okay, so we are finished. Take it out, grab it by the handle. Right, so I just thought probably handy to have two pairs of gloves on there. So now what I can see is I can see the design is showing through. So I can definitely see we've got sublimation, but we just need to now get this off. Now, this is the first time I've ever took off this, so ow, that's very, very hot. So the shrink wrap does break fairly easy. I think what would be better is if I had a sharper knife. In actual fact, I would highly recommend that you have a sharp knife. I'm just going to use a pair of scissors to cut out the inside of that, just so I can get this off, because I don't want that to continue sublimating. Now, that shrink wrap is not too hot. That sort of stops right away. Obviously, the longer you keep this tape on, yeah, that's super hot. So you're not going to be able to touch that mug, guys. See, normally when you put it in a heat press, that's super, super hot. When you put in a heat press, the mug handle sticks out the top, so the mug handle doesn't get hot. But obviously, when you put it in an oven, it gets super, super hot. I'm just trying to get the tape off, like so. Right, guys, this is the first mug we've done. And there we go. We've a sublimated mug. I keep wanting to put that on. So this is the first mug that we've sublimated in the PYD Life sublimation oven, right? Pre-recorded? No, this is live. We're doing this live. You can go back and watch the beginning if you want. It's not pre-recorded at all. It's definitely live, mate. So yeah, so basically this is the first one that I've done, right? And to me, that looks pretty good. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I think that looks pretty damn good. That was what I was expecting. Yeah, so we did that in the PYD sublimation oven. It can do, apparently it can do 6 mugs at a time. So I've got another 3 mugs ready to go. And I was a little bit worried when I was doing the shrink wrap. I was a little bit worried that the shrink wrap wasn't quite putting pressure on the design right on the edge because of the handle. But that doesn't seem to be the case, because there is no fading on this edge whatsoever. That edge is as clean as you want. Yeah, my first test run, yeah. I've been pressing mugs for more than 18 years on a mug press here, but that broke. That decided to break yesterday, and I was going to buy a replacement mug press, which is what I would normally do. I've been through a few of them, but I accidentally ran into that thing, this convection oven, sublimation oven. And I decided, you know what, we'll give that a go because it can do loads of different things. And it could be pretty cool to add to the range here. And yeah, first result, first time, first one. 82 is crazy. I know, I don't look that old, do I? So I think what we're going to do is I think we're going to go ahead and sublimate 3 at a time. I think you can do 6. You can sublimate as many as you want, basically, as many as you can fit in. But it says you need to put the time up to 15 minutes to sublimate 6. So I think I'm going to sublimate 3 at 15 minutes anyway. So I'm going to put it to 15 minutes. Obviously the machine's off. So I'm not going to, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to basically get all the shrink wrap ready for these, because it takes longer. It does take longer. So in a mug press, if you like, old-fashioned way, you can press a mug in 150 seconds at 190 degrees Celsius. This thing takes 12 minutes to do 1 mug. So that is longer, but it can do 6 mugs at a time. So you get the benefit out of being able to do more, I suppose. And obviously it can do really, really odd shapes as well. So it can do very, very odd tumblers and different types of glasses and plates and baubles and basically anything that you can shrink wrap a design to, it can do. So I'm pretty pleased with that as a first result. Let's cool down now. Yeah, it's not bad. basically. That's not bad at all. So, let's. What we're going to do now. So, definitely don't need to use a whole sheet. You can just cut these bad boys in half. Basically, you need to try and figure out where you're cutting in half, though. So the cut it. They're 30 centimeters wide, so we're going to cut them in half like this. So what I will say is this sort of prep of doing this. So you've already got to do your print, wrap it around the mug. But now you've got to wrap the mug in this as well. So there's a bit of extra prep. So realistically, the time saving comes from being able to sublimate them all in one go. You know, so, and obviously, you know, I've only just set the machine up, so I haven't really got much of a workflow at the moment, I would say, about how I'm going to sort of use this on a daily basis. As of right now, I don't have a mug press, so because it's broke, so I'm going to have to figure that out anyway. So I'm going to be using this machine. I'm going to be using this machine from tomorrow anyway. So basically, you just put the mug inside of that like that, and then you heat press it. Now, what I do is I actually put lines. I always do this. I put pen lines. Can you see them? I put pen lines either side. And those pen lines tell me where the edge of the design is. Because when you put it in a mug press, I don't like my design to be near the opening, too close to the edge of the clamp. Because the edge of the clamp doesn't heat as well as the rest of it. And if it doesn't heat as well, it doesn't sublimate as fast. So you can get faded. This, on the other hand, shows me I can see the lines through the. Probably can't see that on the camera. I can see the lines through the shrink wrap, which is good because it means that I know if I blow this now with a heat gun, I'm good to go because I know that's fine. And the one thing I was worried about was the little bubbles you get in it when you put the heat gun on it. But the bubbles don't seem to have made any difference whatsoever. I don't see any problems in that at all. Right. So, obviously you need to wear a glove because, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop doing one by one because doing one by one is too slow. That's not going to work in a working environment. So what we're going to do is we're going to just shrink wrap these three. This is all I've got printed out at the moment, basically, because literally I have been working since 6 a.m. this morning. So. And I'm going to need to order more of these sheets because they're a bit stingy on what I give you. So you've got to blow that with a heat gun now. And I'm not going to want to do that. Obviously, this workflow is all new to me because obviously I've never had to shrink wrap my mugs before. So my heat gun is over here plugged in. I don't know whether I'm going to keep it there. But I have got a pair of heat gloves, which is handy. So if you are enjoying this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. This is honestly all recorded live. This is my absolute first time ever using this machine, basically. I'm just going to hold that tightly. I only need to shrink wrap that to the lines. I can see the lines, my pen lines. I can see my pen lines clearly through the shrink wrap paper. You're going to need a glove. I'm using just low heat, but maybe that just takes longer. Right, so I think I might have went too close. I definitely did. I went too close to the shrink wrap. So what I would say, guys, I'm just going to come over and show you what's happened there. So this is my second one, right? This is my second one. And what I've done is I've basically burnt a hole. Yeah? I've burnt a hole through the shrink wrap by holding the heat gun too close to it. So that's not very tight on that section there. Now, I don't know how much of an effect that is. Maybe I need to blow that again just to make that section, because my pen line is there and that's not very tight. So I might be slightly worried that my design is not getting enough pressure. But you definitely don't want to hold it too close. Yeah, so now it's got a hole in it. I've just made the hole a little bit bigger. Because it's the shrink wrap, once it's got a hole in it, it starts to split. So that's definitely one thing we should be worried about, or not worried about, concerned about. Don't hold your heat gun too close. Basically like I am. There's a bit of a technique to this, I'm not going to lie. That, guys, takes some getting used to. That does not feel... I suppose... that's a bit better, that's a bit better. Do the bottoms first. There we go. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. My recommendation would be to do the bottoms first, so the bottoms fold in on the top, and then heat round the sides. As you can see, that's it's a bit of a time-consuming process. So I'm going to take this out. That is not massively hot. So I want to make sure I know which way that's going to go in like that. So you want to get your house in order, like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this up. I'm going to turn this up to 16 minutes. Now, the manual says to do basically, it says to do one mug 12 minutes and to do 6 mugs in 15 minutes. Now, I don't know whether they expect you to work the difference out, if you're doing only 3 mugs, do I add on 2 or 3 minutes? Personally, looking at this, the one that I did for 12 minutes, I would say, even though that's good, I would say there's plenty of room for you to sublimate that more without issues for longer. That's what I would say, and that's just based on experience, that is. So what I'm going to do is, funny enough, the light on the machine inside only comes on when it's open. It's not on when it's heating up. Yeah. The only indication you have that it is actually heating up is the 2 flashing lights, which are either side of the temperatures. In a way, I used to press mugs at 190 degrees. In a way, I might be inclined to put the temperature up slightly to 190 degrees, just to get that to just... I think I would have wanted maybe that, just to sublimate a little bit more. Basically, it's pretty much perfect, right? It is pretty much perfect. But I know you can get away with sublimating that a little bit longer. There's quite a lot of detail in that design as well, in fairness. So I'm just going to try it because I want to know what the limits are on this machine. I want to know, how far I'm going to push it. Now, the reason why I've set it to 16 minutes is what I said earlier on in the video, is because something really annoying about this machine. You make yourself a fresh coffee in there. Something really annoying about this machine is that when it heats up the temperature, it bleeps like 3 times, and then it starts counting down straight away. So if you set the timer to, I'll give you an example of why this is not good. If you set the timer to 15 minutes, two seconds, I'm just reading something about multiples. That's just to say about multiples. If you do multiples, they need to be at least 1 centimeter apart. So yeah, going back to what I was just saying about the machine, something that annoys me about this machine is that when it heats up the temperature, it bleeps 3 times and then starts counting down. So if you set your time to 15 minutes, which is the time that it says, it's going to start counting down now. I've set it to 16 minutes. See, started counting down for 16 minutes now, but I only need to sublimate these for 15 minutes, or at least that's what I want to sublimate them for, right? So now, by setting it to 16 minutes, I've now given myself a minute of time, because you can open the door and you can put it straight in and it'll keep counting down. So you're basically giving yourself some leeway, right? So we're going to stick these on here, like so. Make sure they're all 1 centimeter apart, which they clearly are. And then we're just coming down to, you've got to be careful, that does get pretty hot. That's been out for quite a while as well. So just coming down to 15 minutes now. Chuck them all in the oven. Close it, and I'm down to like 15:04 when I put that in, so about 4 seconds extra. So for me, that's probably the way that I'm going to use the machine, right? Because in a normal working day, if you haven't watched any of the live streams we've been doing recently, we're pretty bloody busy, right? So we've got die cutters going, we've got printers going, we've got mug presses going. We're pretty busy, so we're not just standing around just focusing on one thing. We could be loading material in there. We could be doing some prints. Basically, we're doing a bit of everything throughout the day because we deal with a lot of orders, right? So my thinking here is that I can't be sat around waiting for this machine to get it to temperature and then within 5 seconds be ready to put something in before I will lose time on the count, and then you can't. It's not as if you can just reset the count, because every time you reset the count, you have to turn the machine off to reset the count, and then you've got to wait for it to heat back up, and then so I don't know like how long it'll take to heat back up. Whether it'll be like another 20 seconds, I don't know. It's kind of annoying. I don't really like that. So I think an instant workaround for me is do one of two things, right? I'm going to see how I get on. I'm either going to just set it to 16 minutes. Most of the time I'm going to be doing more than one mug, I would presume. I actually think I could probably sublimate one mug slightly longer. So I might just do everything on 15 minutes. But to give myself a bit of extra time, if I know I'm doing other things at the same time, I'm going to set that machine to 16 minutes so that when it does bleep and it starts counting down immediately, I know I've got a minute to head over to the machine and, chuck it in. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be my plan. The other plan, what I did say earlier on in the video, which I could do as well, was I could just get a separate timer. Yeah, separate timer, sit on top here. That doesn't get too hot. I bet this metal gets hot. You don't touch that. That's not too hot. I'll get a separate timer to sit on there, just a button timer. Set that to 15 minutes. And set the oven to like 1 hour or something like that, right? So basically, it would never use up all the time. So if I just set it to 1 hour, then I know I don't have to worry because I can just use the other timer that I've got on top, the time 15 minutes, go back over to the oven, take it out after that time goes on. That, from a workflow perspective, that might work better for me. I actually think I think it's a bit daft the way they've designed the machine. What I might have to test is that whole process of once it starts counting down, if you've missed a few seconds, and then you have to turn the machine off to reset it, because you can't turn the time up on the machine while it's on. You can't just go, oh, it's down to 14 minutes. While it's on, I'll just turn it back up to 15. You see what I mean? Because what you would do is you would put your mugs in, and then you would just set the time back to 15. You can't actually do that without turning it off. That's really stupid. I suppose you could put your mugs in, put it on reheat, as long as it's not reheating back up from zero, or because you don't want that extra sublimation, see. So all in all, well, I'm not going to say it's been a success because these haven't come out yet. But it's a handy little box to keep your sheets in. So we'll keep that and we'll find something for that to go. It's just the toolkits. Yeah, you can literally do all sorts with this machine. Literally all sorts. See, it says add the binder clips. I mean, if you were doing multiple mugs, you don't need to use. They only give you one. You don't need to use those binder clips unless you are trying to show you on this mug. You don't need to use those binder clips unless you were trying to get your design as close as you can to the handle, okay? Which you wouldn't be able to do on a normal mug press anyway, because of the gap. But in this machine, obviously, you can sublimate anywhere where you can get the shrink wrap to fit into. And let's be honest, the shrink wrap will fit into anything. Just be careful when you're using the heat gun. I was using the heat gun then on a low heat, and I was using it too close, and I burned through the shrink wrap in seconds. Now, obviously, if you burn through the shrink wrap, it creates a hole, and then that creates a weak point in the shrink wrap. And then as you go near that hole, the hole starts to expand and split, and then all of a sudden you lose the pressure that you have on the design. And if you lose the pressure, you could end up with, I'm assuming you could end up with a faded design, because you haven't got the pressure. You need the heat and the pressure. Hence why you need to use sublimation oven, because you, in a normal mug press, you've got that pressure, right? So now I am interested to see what happens when I try and shrink wrap and heat press one of these mugs. This has got a lip, which makes it a bit awkward, but I don't see how it's really going to cause that much trouble. I think it'll be okay. So I am going to chuck this video up on YouTube, guys. If you have found this helpful, please give the video a like. Don't worry, we're not quite done yet. Just checking notifications on my phone. I've got 7 minutes left on that. I'm going to go and make a cup of coffee. We are live, guys, by the way. Somebody asked me, is this pre-recorded? Definitely not. I'll let the dogs out as well. I'll make coffee. I'll be back within 7 minutes. Right, still 5 minutes to go. So, kettle's boiling. Yeah. So, what am I thinking about? I'm thinking my knife is not sharp enough. In fairness, I used that for cutting paper. What I'm thinking is that you need a sharp knife. Basically, this is a little bit sharper, but it's not that sharp. I've got another one here. Yeah. Cool. I'll just snap that blade off. This will be a lot sharper. I used to have a blade snapper, but yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Happy days. Obviously, don't put your blades in your bin. I do have a sharps box, so I can pop it in there. Right, fresh cup of coffee. Don't ask me why I'm drinking coffee at 10 o'clock at night. Probably not going to help me sleep. Right, so we are 2 minutes away. I've got 3 in the oven right now. So I'm sublimating 3 mugs at the same time. The first run that I ever did on this brand new machine, first time I've ever used it, I sublimated 1. This is the result. That's basically how it turned out. Came out pretty cool in my eyes. So I've put 3 in, so the machine is now sublimating for slightly longer, so 15 minutes. Yes, it takes longer than a mug press. I could definitely press 3 mugs on a mug press quicker, but from a workflow perspective, I can do 6 in this oven at a time. The fact you can, I suppose the benefit is that you can sort of set it and forget it, right? So you can put 6 in, and you can then carry on doing other stuff. And then when it goes off, you can then stop what you're doing, go over, sort the mugs out. I mean, there is that benefit to it. So hopefully it will work out. But like with anything new, obviously it takes a bit of getting used to, right? So all these little gadgets and gloves and stuff, find some of those to go, not lose them. Yeah. Clips in the middle of it. There we go. Fancy. This is a fancy glove though. Oh. 30 seconds to go. Should I use their glove? All on my own? Yeah. Give this a go. Probably burn straight through it. Right, so you're going to want a knife. You're going to want a sharp knife. And you're going to want a pair of scissors on hand as well. They're probably a bit big. You're going to want a pair of scissors on hand as well. I actually have plenty of scissors. So the machine does, you can see it, heard it just finished. The machine does turn off. It doesn't keep, it's not like a mug press that would just keep pressing your mug into oblivion. It does turn off. Now, obviously, they've been in there for 15 minutes, so these are going to be very, very, very hot. Right, so get those out and put that on there. I can definitely feel the heat through that glove. I don't know whether my other glove's better. So I'm just going to go and get another tray, I think. Right, so just got myself an extra tray. This is going to allow me to just have a bit more room to work in, like this. So I'm going to grab, I actually don't like these gloves. These gloves are really stiff. Haven't got much movement in that. Again, that oven glove that comes with it is rubbish. I'd recommend that you go and buy yourself a pair of very flexible heat gloves, like so. So what I want to do is get my knife. You do want to be careful with this. I would say a pair of scissors are less likely to cause you any problems. But they're going to take getting used to, but certainly taking the shrink wrap off is not that intuitive at the moment. You've got to be extremely careful when you put it in. I'm so used to the handle. I'm so used to the handle not being hot in a mug press, but that's not the case here. So you've got to be careful. So you can see we've just done this lion mug, this personalised lion mug. And yeah, now I feel like you probably can't see it, but this D is not, that D is not fully sublimated. And the reason why that is because that was where we had the split in the shrink wrap. Now you can probably get away with it, it's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. But that's something you do have to be aware of. That is definitely a problem. Is if you split the shrink wrap with your heat gun, potentially you're going to have problems. Because if it hasn't got that pressure, it's not going to be able to sublimate. Now this stuff does split pretty well. Once you get that bottom piece off, you can cut that bit like that, and then it's pretty easy to unwrap then. You end up with like a top layer. So you need to be super careful with what you touch, because it is, the whole mug is hot. You can't, there's not even you can't even hold the handle without a pair of gloves on. So let's just have a close look at this one. So we've got Dad, the grill master. It's personalised. Love Em and Jack. And we have a look at the other side. So guys, these are coming out as good as my mug press. So no problems there whatsoever. I know the issue with the D was because of me burning a hole in the tape. Again, that's me just going to grab it when I shouldn't. It's really hot, so try not to grab it. Try and remember that. But that's just a habit. So the way I'm cutting this is cutting the bottom first. So obviously you've got that gap there, and then you can use that to peel away the bottom. Yeah, so it kind of peels away, and then cut up the mug right to the top, and then you can easily peel the rest away. So look at me, I'm flipping pro already. Like that. So, well, this is an edgeless design. So this was edge to edge. Well, not edge to edge. So as you can see, on this one is right down to the bottom of the mug. So you can print your design, and you can have your design come off the edge of the mug if you want, and that's how you do edgeless. You can see it's edgeless on that side as well. Right. So again, have a close up. Just expecting the print quality. There's lots and lots of detail in there, guys. I know you can't really tell, but there is tons of detail in there. That's a really, really nice image. And yeah, I can't complain about that at all. Apart from the fact the mug's too hot. So I'm going to let them cool down. This is boiling hot. Yeah. So that tray is handy. Handy, there's a tip. Buy yourself a tray which you can keep out the oven, because the tray is cool. And that is hot. It means you can pick it up without gloves. So there's a tip. So I'm probably going to come up with tons of tips like that. As I get used to this machine, like I said, it's only just arrived today. We've just spent the last 2 hours setting it up. We had 4 mugs there ready to go. Overall, I would say pretty straightforward. Tiny little niggly issue regarding the way that it just starts the countdown straight away, which is not really something that I personally like. I don't like that on the machine. I would rather it just be set on 15 minutes and just press start when I'm ready to go, right? But apart from that, those results are pretty flawless. If you've never used a sublimation oven before, the hardest part, in my honest opinion, is just getting used to using the heat gun, basically. Using the shrink wrap and shrink wrapping the different types of shapes you can. If you're just doing mugs, you're going to get used to it fairly quickly. But if you're doing mugs of different shapes, latte cups, you know, the sort of cost short of round, you know, very curved mugs you can do as well, they're going to have a different feel when you're shrink wrapping. And what I did find, even though this is the genuine, I'm assuming it's genuine because it came with it, even though it's the genuine shrink wrap, even on a low heat with the heat gun, I managed to burn a hole in the shrink wrap, which did cause that tiny little sublimation issue on the letter D on the one side of that one mug. But obviously I know that now, so I'll obviously be more careful now. But yeah, but besides that, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I was expecting to get it and have a nightmare working out the settings, but in fairness to them, they've got a book. Obviously, if you do something which is not in there, you may have to look online. You know, for example, if I want to try to like a photographic slate or something like that, then you're gonna have to figure that out yourself. You're gonna have to, you know, you could probably just use. I would just use something like ChatGPT. I would ask it. Basically, I'm using a sublimation oven. To be honest, what I would say is I would basically ask it, you know, how long to sublimate in a sublimation oven, at 180 degrees or 355 Fahrenheit, so that you don't have to mess up with your heat setting all the time. And yeah, and just basically just work out that way. I think if you are doing photo slates, I do think they need to be pressed at a high temperature. It's been quite a while since we've done them. We used to have them in the product range, but we were using a flat press to do them with, and they actually become a bit of a pain in the ass to do, so we discontinued them. But they did sell reasonably well. I can show you one. Right, so this is a little bit dirty, guys. So that's our Mabel. Calm down. Can you calm down, please? And there's Mabel there. Yeah, so this is what they call it? A slate. This is a photo slate with a sublimation coating in like a heart shape. So we used to do these in our product range. We discontinued them because we were doing them on a flat press, and they were quite time consuming to do. Now you could put one of these in your what are they called? Shrink wrap sleeves. Shrink wrap it, and then just chuck it in the oven to cook. Now you can fit 1, 2. I could fit 4 on there at a time. I remember these used to take about 7 or 8 minutes to press. I think we used to press these down with a press, and they needed to be on quite a lot of pressure as well. I remember these needed quite a lot of pressure. We used to put a weight on top of the press actually to get the pressure. Right, so so overall, so far so good. I would say it takes some getting used to, obviously, it's new, it's to be expected. These can just go in the drawer. Don't recommend these. This is the oven glove that comes with it. This is the heat resistant glove that comes with it. Not very flexible. I know it looks it, but when you got it on, it's nowhere near as gives you the mobility that these do. So just get yourself a pair of heat gloves. These are cheap on Amazon. I did recommend a knife, but I don't think you need one. For me, what seems to work well is the scissors. So I'll stick with the scissor method of cutting them. So I won't use a knife. I'll use the scissors. Buy yourself a tray, because you're going to want, ideally, because you don't want to keep having to put gloves on and off all the time just to move stuff. So buy yourself a small tray just to put that on so you don't burn your work surface. Make sure you've got enough space for it. Have a look at the measurements of the machine. It's not that deep, but it is taller than you think. It's a little bit smaller than a standard, a sort of relatively small microwave oven, I would say. But it's taller, obviously, than a microwave. But obviously it's going to be hopefully it's a workhorse, because it's going to need to be. I need to figure out how to turn it off now. And then I'm going to wrap my day up. Right, let me just have a look. How I turn it off. Right, you turn it off by pressing the time button for 3 seconds. There we go. And just like that, we've turned it off. Right. Right. Hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. That is a full unboxing, setup, install, and first use of a BYD Life convection oven. Never ever used one before. First time I've ever used it. 4 perfect mugs. First time. I do have a little bit of experience when it comes to sublimation, but not with an oven. I've never shrink wrapped anything. I've always used a mug press, but going from a mug press to an oven, if you're doing batches, I think it makes sense. If you're just doing one at a time, I don't think it makes any sense at all. There you go. There's my review. I don't even think this was meant to be a review. Anyway, guys, if you like this sort of stuff, go check out our website, see what type of things that we do. We are live streaming every day. We started last week. We've done maybe like 6 or 7 live streams. We usually live stream early in the morning, about sort of 6, 7 a.m. UK time. If you want to catch one of those, in our live streams, you'll literally see us physically, putting stuff together, actually physically making orders, packing orders, and shipping orders for our resellers worldwide. If you want to become a reseller, if you're interested in things like print on demand or drop shipping, we've got a catalogue of products that you can go and sell right now. Go to our website to find out more. You can sign up completely free to become a reseller for our products. If you've got your own designs, we can print, as you can see, mugs with your own designs. We can personalize everything in our range. We can do mugs for you, print on demand. We can do wall art as well, print on demand with your own designs, and we ship worldwide as well. So you can go check us out on the website. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and do subscribe to the channel. And for those of you who are watching live, I'm going to put this right up to YouTube now, just in case you've joined late and you want to just go back and watch the whole thing. But I appreciate for those of you who did join in, those of you who've commented. There's 2 of you. But anyway, we haven't got that many subscribers. So subscribe to the channel if you like this sort of stuff, and maybe I'll do some more of it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up now. It's getting super late here. It's like 9:30. I've been at this since like 6 a.m. this morning, so I'm pretty knackered now. But I'll be back up early in the morning tomorrow with a live stream. Right, I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. See you later. Thanks again for tuning in.